Hey y'all, it's Kate from the Apothecary and welcome back to my channel.
Welcome back to another Battle of the Books 2023 edition. Today we're doing my round 4, the top 16 books I read in 2023 according to this bracket. Of course, these are going to be such hard choices. Looking at these choices right now, just glancing at them, holy cow, these are going to be tough. This is going to narrow down the top 16 to my top 8. And probably once I get to the top 8, I'll probably combine the last 3 rounds into one video with the top 8, top 4, top 2, and top 2 will be the final round. So the quarterfinals, semifinals, and the final round. I think I might combine those into one video like I did last year because those will be really short videos on their own. This is also going to be hopefully a short video because we've already talked about these books a bunch. I know I'm going to talk about them more, but hopefully not too much where you all are bored out of your mind. So our first matchup for the top 16 include Labyrinth's Heart versus The Shadow Rising. Book 3 in the Rick and Rose series by M.A. Carrick versus book, I want to say 4 in the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan. This one goes to Labyrinth's Heart. Even though The Shadow Rising was one of the books I think I liked more than others, Labyrinth's Heart was just so good. Next up is one of those hard ones I've been talking about, A River Enchanted versus No Heart for a Thief. River Enchanted, I was obsessed with it. There was such amazing atmosphere in that. It was like a Scottish Celtic magical journey. I loved everything about it. The characters, the atmosphere, the setting. It felt even more magical because I did immersion read with the hardcover copy with the audiobook playing, and it was fantastic. And I can't wait to read book 2 in February in that duology. No Heart for a Thief was a self-pub book I picked up, and I keep thinking about that book. It is a historical fantasy book by James Lloyd Doolan. This one's a hard one. I think I have to go with A River Enchanted for this one, but if you guys haven't read No Heart for a Thief yet, you need to pick that up along with its sequel, No Safe Haven, because those 2 books were just so good. I keep thinking about those. Our next matchup is The Bleeding Stone versus Legacy of the Brightwash. 2 self-pub books I absolutely loved. This one, I have to give it to The Legacy of the Brightwash by Crystal Machar because, y'all, that book has haunted me in a good and a bad way. I love that book so much. I can't stop talking about that book. The Bleeding Stone was another historical fantasy book that takes place, you know, kind of in a similar vein as No Heart for a Thief, kind of a retelling of the Native American struggles when the Europeans came and took over. Kind of a loser tells this story type of book, but with magic. So historical fantasy, and I loved it so much. And I have book 2 on deck for February, with the arc for book 3 coming in March, and I can't wait to see where that series goes. So if you haven't read The Bleeding Stone by Joe Lee yet, really, you should really add that one to your list too. Next up, we have A Storm of Swords versus Lullaby. So my favorite Song of Ice and Fire book in the series versus my second favorite Nightmare Chronicles series. This one is going to go to Storm of Swords because that book just blew my mind away. Lullaby was incredible. I loved it so much, and it gave me my favorite character in the whole series, and I love it for doing that. But I feel like it just can't go up against George R.R. Martin. Wistful Ascending versus Nightfall. So we have a superhero fantasy sci-fi book versus a book 1 in the Nightmare Chronicles series, which had me stop, pause, and read out the first couple sentences in that book. I am going to actually give this one to Wistful Ascending by J.C.M. Byrne, because Nightfall, while it was incredible, was not my favorite in this series, and we do have my favorite coming up later on in a couple picks. So I'm gonna go with Wistful Ascending here and let Lily fight it out later on. Our next matchup might be the hardest one that I have to go for. The Two-Faced Queen by Nick Martell versus Buzzard's Bowl. My favorite book in the Mercenary Kings trilogy versus a sequel of a grimdark series that made me a fan of grimdark genre. Gosh. Oh man. Leslie, I know you have read both of these books. What would you do in this situation? I know you're going to say this is why I don't make top lists. Holy cow. While I think about this, let me know in the comments below. If you've read both of these books, let me know which one you would pass. I think I'm going to pass Buzzard's Bowl on to the next round. That book was just so damn good. The Two-Faced Queen was exceptional. It was amazing. Really, either one of these could be passed on, and if they were up against just about any other book, they probably would be passed on. But since they're up against each other, I have to choose one. I think I choose Buzzard's Bowl. I'm gonna move on so I don't keep thinking about this and try to change my mind a gazillion times. So we only have 2 picks left. Lily versus Grave Peril. So this one is an easier one. I love all of the Dresden books, but
So while I was editing this video, I realized that my camera cut off on the last video part earlier than I thought it did, so I didn't get to finish my thoughts about Lily and Grave Peril. So I love all the Dresden books, as you guys know from watching my videos, but to me, the Dresden series, the Dresden Files, at least so far where I'm at, cannot compare to Lily, the last book in the Nightmare Land Chronicles series, which just left me sitting there staring at the wall. So this round, I am going to move on Lily by Daniel Barnett and say goodbye to Grave Peril, even though I love Dresden so much. Just wanted to check in on that.
I'm back again to finish off our top 16 books. Last week, when I was filming this video, my battery in my camera died, and then the weather got dark, and things happened, and then life happened during the week, and I hadn't had a chance to get back here and finish filming this video, so I'm back now. We have one last matchup for this video. That is Phased by Tori Tekken versus the Hexologists by Josiah Bancroft. And this one has to go to the Hexologists by Josiah Bancroft. But let me tell you about Phased. This is book 1 in Tori Tekken's supernatural story. It's basically like a coming of age story for werewolves, and I loved everything about this book. It was so well done. Tori Tekken really pulls on your emotions in this book. It was just amazing, and I can't wait to see where it goes with these characters. So if you're looking for a good supernatural book that's about werewolves, which we don't have a lot of, highly recommend Phased by Victoria Tekken. So that's it for now, but yeah, now we have a top 8. It's almost like a top 10, but it's top 8 because it's the way that the brackets are laid out. So our top 16 just became my top 8 reads of 2023. This one was so hard, and looking at these picks, these next couple rounds are going to be even harder. For the next rounds, I'm going to do our last 3 rounds in one video. We'll have a top 8 round, a top 4 round, and then our finals, the top 2 books of 2023. Those I'm going to wrap up all in one video since they're going to be very short. But y'all, these picks are going to be so hard going forward. Let me know in the comments below which picks surprised you the most. Which ones did you agree with? Which ones didn't you agree with? What would you have changed in this top 16 video? As always, my Patreon and my Discord information will be in the description below. Keep reading, and I love y'all to the moon and back. Bye.